Long ago, Garl Glittergold looks through a gem in his realm and speaks.
Raven Queen, I stand in my place of power to call on you. I call to the mistress of the Fortress of Memories, and I ask, will you speak with me?
Hail and well, met with ebb and ether sea. Garl Glittergold, father of all gnomes, I hear, I answer. Why do you summon me from my contemplation of mortal fragments and dead deities?
I am gathering those who would stand against the destruction of the material plane. Soon we will be unable to intervene directly. If we all put a fragment of our power, we could imbue a staff. A staff wielded only by those we choose. A staff of power.
But why me? Surely you have closer allies. I know you have spoken with Locke, and there is little love between you.
True. But I need those who can help me create the ultimate power. And for that, I need you. I know there was another before you.
Speak not of who came before. He was a cruel god of death, taking life and feeding his own power. He deserved what came next.
I know. And I know only someone of immense strength could have felled him. That's why I need your help. I cannot form the staff of Seraphim without your power.
Very well. I give you my word. By my crown of night, by my wedding band of death, by the balance of a just death, I shall help you.
Thank you, Raven Queen. Thank you. Oh, hold on. That's Grumsh. Hello?
Hey, small man. This staff. I was just thinking maybe a spear instead. Spears are way cooler.
Huh. We'll see, Grumsh. We'll see.
Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 135. Final Hunger. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and hungry Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. And with me tonight, doing an amazing Raven Queen, is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter.
Fantastic. And also with us, doing a wonderful cameo as Grumsh, is Izzy. Izzy, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello everybody, I will be playing Merezi Mugra, half-orc barbarian.
Kinda sounds like Grumsh.
There is a similarity there. And last but certainly not least, both portraying Garl Glittergold as well as his own character is Dare. Dare, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson, the paladin of the all-powerful, well, mostly powerful Garl Glittergold.
We will see his power in the end. When we last left our characters, they have gone on a quest to find the missing second part of the Staff of Seraphim. This led them to the necropolis of Kalimvor, magically augmented by that very staff to enormous size. Going inside and exploring, they found strange skin monsters, they found bone golems, they found terrifying dead tieflings wrapped in skins to resemble themselves. Finally defeating all of these foes, they decided to rest for the night in this strange mockery of Palm Grove in the Pinta Plains. You have laid down for rest, and you have fallen asleep, and you dream strange dreams. Now, I have a question for each of you, and I'm going to take this in turn. It's very, very important. Tix, would your character have had any type of pudding growing up?
Well, yes. Yes, he would have. The gnomes are famous for their bread puddings.
Delicious bread pudding. Merezi, a slightly different upbringing. Do you think your character ever had any pudding?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. The closest would be maybe like a blood sausage that was a little squishy. And finally, Athora, growing up in your village before starvation came from the Craxador bandits. Do you think your character ever had any pudding?
Maybe once or twice for special occasions.
Like for high ceremonies, they really pulled all the stops out and they imported the necessary ingredients from distant cities. So it's not something... so you're all sitting at a table, some delicious-looking bowls of bread pudding. What are you going to do?
Hey, what's this?
Tix will cast one of his lesser-used spells, but that gets used on ships and such, is Purify Food and Drink on all the table. He will pray to Garl Glittergold, cast that spell across the food on the table to bless it and make sure it is healthy and holy.
And Tix has a little bit of a background with the sea, and of course even more recently when y'all crossed the Sand Swallow Seas and eventually came to the Isle of the Dead. Cast this spell, and you know from experience that when there's something to cast out, there's almost like a little that puffs out as the contagion or rot is expelled. And nothing like that happens. It seems like the food is wholesome.
Excellent. And so he will still carefully dish up some and inspect it and smell it and make sure that it isn't a living pudding of any sort.
Oh, in D&D, that is a very reasonable request. I was just going to say, y'all literally have encountered a pool of black pudding when you first encountered an early incarnation of the Nameless One, who is now named. He was manifesting in a pool of black pudding.
Merezi scoops it with her hand and starts to eat it, sort of licking it off her fingers and underneath her claw-like fingernails like friggin' Winnie the Pooh.
It is incredible. It is sweet. That's the thing that hits you. Is there was some sugared items growing up. That was extremely rare among the orcs.
Not really a priority.
Exactly.
But Merezi maybe has slightly more human taste buds.
This is also true, and so it is. That's the first thing that hits you. The texture is very unusual, but it is absolutely delicious. And I'm sorry, Tix, you said you were spooning some up?
Tix is spooning some up, and especially after seeing that Merezi doesn't die instantly, he will take some bites.
And again, it is absolutely delicious. Thora, are you going to partake in any?
I'm very hesitant to try it at all.
You hesitate, and you look up, and you notice that both Tix and Merezi now look horribly emaciated. They look like they haven't eaten in weeks, and the skin is hanging off of their bone.
Ah!
Something wrong there, Athora?
You look starving!
Yeah, for more pudding.
I feel good.
And every
I have a little on my mouth?
Take, they become more and more emaciated until finally they both clatter to the ground as piles of bones. And in the shadows behind them, you see the black eyes of Oliver Black Eyes, who has now become a hunger ghost. And he goes, "Yes, they will starve. You will starve. You will all die." And there's a rock as he leaps toward you. And you all do that thing where you wake up back into reality. You both all experience the same dream, but for you, Merezi, and for you, Tix, it had a much more dreamlike quality. Where you weren't really in control of your actions, but you are now awake. And I would like all of you to make a spot check for me.
Okay, spot check.
5.
Merezi noticed that she is not a skeleton.
9.
Oh, thank God.
9, okay, perfect. And for Tix?
18.
18. So, Athora, Merezi, you're just waking up. You're just literally waking up. What is important to you when you wake up? First thing.
Probably just making sure I know where everything is, know where my weapon is.
I would imagine with Merezi, the first thing she does is lay her hand on her halberd and make sure it's nearby, which it is. And I again, as I always say, I'm not trapping you or getting you by asking this, but did you say that you had left Aki with the chicken hut with Audrey? Or is Aki with
do not remember.
Well, I will leave that up to you. Either way is not a death sentence for Aki. It just is how the story will go forward.
I'll say she's here.
Okay, say she is there with you. And as you had noted, Athora, your new cat, Katra, will not be denied, is absolutely there with you. And you see your cat is next to you, and it is staring out the door. Its eyes green and shining as it looks out into the night.
What you see out there?
And normally, your cat has always said the same thing, which is, meow. But instead, a low comes from its mouth. And Tix, with that roll, you noticed a few things when you woke up. You came to yourself instantly. What would you do first when waking up from that dream?
Yeah. Tix wakes up with a thanks to his deity and gets himself ready for his morning devotionals, grabs hold of his icon to begin his morning prayers and getting ready for the day.
Mm-hmm. So you are doing all of that. However, you are also just more present. You didn't just wake up, you woke up. Like you woke up ready. And you notice a couple of things. One, y'all went to sleep in a small... it was essentially a hut. It was a large hut, but it was a hut that was one of the villagers in the Palm Grove. You realize, one, this is not the hut you went to sleep in. You are in a different hut.
Uh-oh.
This hut is much more similar. In fact, for a moment, for like a heartbeat, you think you're inside Audrey 3. However, you've spent the better part of a year inside Audrey 3. You know it very, very well. It is not Audrey 3, but the dimensions are very, very similar. It is also very disgusting and gross in here. And with an 18, you can't quite place it, but you have been inside this building before.
Really? All right, I tell Morezi and Athora, girls, I think we're not where we're supposed to be. Somebody has been messing with us. And we're not inside of Audrey. We're not inside of where we went to sleep last night. I think it'd be best if we got our armor on and figure out where Penton and Distant Bells are.
Yes.
Morezi.
A very good point. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I just want to clarify. You are absolutely right. Neither of them are there, and they both went to, or at least, were there with you when you went to sleep. I'm sorry, please, go ahead, Izzy.
Morezi immediately, again, checks to make sure everything that she had with her before, she still has.
Everything you had is with you, including Aki.
Gotcha. I pick Aki up. She is currently on my shoulder.
Okay. Now I would like all of you to do a quick listen check for me.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get, Athora?
I got a 14.
Okay.
17 for Morezi.
And for Tix?
I got a 16.
16. Okay, so it makes sense. You are all very much on high alert. You woke up somewhere where you're not, we're somewhere different. You're looking at your cat making that strange sound, Athora. You all hear a dull hissing noise. And you can feel a slight movement of the house. Like, perhaps if the house was slowly starting to tilt to one side?
So Tix is going to grab his stuff and head to the door and look outside to see what is going on and whether it's safe to jump out. What does he see?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like you to make a spot check for me.
All right. That is a 26.
I'll tell you in a moment that you have made this spot check before a long time ago. And it was very important that you rolled over a 15 because your foot nearly came down on a gelatinous mass.
Ew.
And it is nearly transparent, and so you almost didn't see it. However, because you are so battle ready, your foot starts to come down, and then literally like the tiniest little bit of it clings to the edge of your boot, and you hear a whatever you are in, this hut, this house, is slowly being subsumed by a gelatinous cube.
Oh my.
And as you have opened the door, the cube is starting to come into the house.
Okay.
But you have not, at this moment, been attacked by it because of your good spot check, and I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
5. Wait, no, 7.
7 for Merezi, and for Athora.
23.
23 for Athora, and for Tix.
A straight 19.
19 for Tix. Very good. So, Athora, you see him starting to step outside and do like a whoa, come right back, and you can see this boom, and then the sound of Katra go down to
Can we hit I can't remember. Would it be safe to?
Well, that depends on how much you know about gelatinous cubes, and that would be a check that you would need to make. A skill on 3.5, is it?
I think it's knowledge, a parentheses engineering.
Yeah. It's either knowledge, or you can just make a straight roll and add your intelligence.
Or wilderness lore.
Yes, the wilderness lore would also apply under knowledge. Do you have any knowledges, Athora?
No.
No. Then just make a straight intelligence roll. Adding your intelligence bonus.
I don't have an intelligence bonus. That's a
There
natural 1, so...
A natural 1.
There you go.
You know that gelatinous cubes exist. You don't... And I actually want to further specify, you know that attacking some jellies is bad. Like, some of them need fire, some of them need this or that, some of them are resistant to magic. They're all different, and you don't know what will happen if you attack it.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up Katra and set her on my shoulder. Can I hold my turn?
Yes, though you can hold action, but you need to tell me what you're planning on holding it for.
I don't know what to do.
You can just, I guess, make that your action, or move. Like, move away from the door, or towards it.
Is there a window? Can I just go look out the window?
There absolutely is a window.
I'm gonna go look out the window and see if we can leave the house.
Okay. Your quick look out the window reveals that you can see like the cube on the ground, like it's literally starting to engulf this building you're in. But it's not. It's more on the other side. That's what you felt, the building's like starting to tilt. So this area isn't quite as covered with the cube yet.
Can I jump out the window and leave? Tell us to leave?
You can absolutely do that. Yeah, I mean, it will require a roll. It could be a acrobatics, or it could be a jump, if you want to try that, depending on how you want to do this.
I'll jump out the window.
Okay.
Hope for the best. I'm leaving. See you guys. That is a 21.
21. So with a 21, you crash through the window and jump as far as you can. I would like you to roll a 4-sided dice and then double it.
Okay. So 6.
6. So you clear 6 feet away from the house and away from the gelatinous cube. And you land with a, 3-point hero land. Boom! Come down. Technically, you can still attack if you want to.
I don't want
or
to.
You can end your turn. Again, going back to years ago, before Athora was with the team, Tix wisely chose not to engage a gelatinous cube that he encountered, so that is certainly an option. Now it will bring it to Tix.
So, Tix is going to grab a torch and light it as he is jumping out the window also. Well, first he's going to jump out the window.
Yep, that is a good thing to do first. So go ahead and give me that jump roll, please.
Okay. That is a straight 16.
Okay, that is successful. And roll that 1d4. And with you can add 50% because you are a gnome.
Okay. That is a 6.
Oh, still a 6. So even though of your diminutive size, you know the right angle to hit, and boom, 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 and right next to you, Athora, boom, landing down, already pulling, unslinging a torch from his pack. And you want to try to light the torch this round?
Light the torch.
I can't remember if I make you roll for that. I think I'll just let you do that. That's fine.
Okay.
That's y'all have your torches ready to go, especially you, because you don't have dark vision, right?
Yes,
always forget.
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay, yeah. Lee was telling me the other day you didn't. I was like, wait a second. I thought all like diminutive creatures had.
Yeah. Underground dwelling.
Yeah,
dark
exactly.
vision.
And that will bring it to the Gelatinous Cube. It is sensing your warmth, Merezi, and it, as they used to say, creeps and crawls across the floor. And it is going to shoom towards you. I am terribly sorry to say this. It rolls a natural 20. Wow, that is unfortunate. So it is going. What basically happens? It reminds you of the mimic, the pseudo mimic that you fought with those pseudopods. This kind of pseudopod comes up and just slams into you.
Am I like grappled by its goopiness?
Not necessarily, but you might be. So we shall see. So it 6 points of damage and 8 points of acid damage. So I apologize. That is doubled. So it does 16 points of damage as it slams into you. And
is that 6 plus 16?
No, that's 16 total. That's for the because
Gotcha.
it rolled a natural 20. I need you to make Fortitude saving throw.
Gotcha. 29.
So where it slams into you, you feel a terrible numbness begin to cover your body. But you tap into that orcishness, the part, when your mother would make you do these crazy drills out in the woods, and you were standing in a cold pool and just freezing, and she'd be like, "Fuck, harder, harder, harder," and you just and you just shake it off. But that like part of your left arm is like almost numb now. It is horrible how powerful this paralysis is.
Gelatinous cubes, great dentists.
It's true. So that will actually bring it to your turn, Merezi.
I am going. Oh wait. Would this guy get an attack of opportunity? Like is it like in range?
He will get an attack of opportunity if you disengage. But you have pretty good armor class. He did roll a natural 20.
I do.
So if you fight it, you're going to be fighting it by yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that on those. I'm going to take the L and retreat. Try to get out the window. I'll take that attack of opportunity, and then I will roll a jump check.
Gotcha. So it does try to slam into you, but it does not succeed. Even with its bonus, it is just shy. You feel it. You feel it. It actually kind of pushes you forward as it whacks into your back. You're like, ah! And you kind of fly forward. And give me that jump roll, please.
All right. 21.
You rolled a 1?
21.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very
goodness.
much.
Thank goodness that was a cutout. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh dear. As you just fly out, and it actually kind of smacks you. And so roll 1d4 and triple it.
Gotcha. 6 also. Wow.
Wow. So there's like, boom, boom. Y'all, the first two, y'all land like just very, superhero pose. And then Tix, you land sturdily on 2 feet. And then Merezi, you just wham, like face first. because the thing like knocked you out as you do, but you don't take any damage, but it's just shocking as you all land. And you all turn around, and things sort of start to click into place for you, Tix, and for you, Athora. You have been here before. And as I said, Tix, you have been in that hut before. If you recall, when you were on the Isle of the Dead,
Right.
you found yourself at a crater. And the crater was circled by 3 huts. One of them turned out to be Audrey 3. One of them, Osokai threw into the center, where apparently the dead were being created.
I assume you meant Morezi has been here before. Athora wasn't with us, was she?
That's exactly what I said. You and I just meant Tix did the good spot check earlier, but no, Morezi absolutely was here.
Yeah. You. I think you may have missaid Athora, but
Okay.
I could also have misheard you.
Gotcha. But this is where you, Morezi, fought a ethereal being that the sea hag thought would be intangible, but found you could hit it, nevertheless, much to its dismay. This hut that you jumped out of is actually the hut of the sea hag, and it is just being like boom, 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 being subsumed by a gelatinous cube.
Trip down memory lane.
Take a quick scan around to see what else, if any other dangers are around us. Where are we still anywhere near Palm Grove? Or are we on the Isle of the Dead now?
Give me a spot check, please.
That is a 24.
24. So there is no sign of Palm Grove. When y'all came through that weird wedding chamber with the bone golem, there was like a holodeck type door just hanging suspended in midair. There is no sign of Palm Grove. You, as far as your senses, as far as you can tell, it is nighttime, and you are in the Isle of the Dead, exactly as it was where you left it, except that there is a gelatinous cube eating the remaining hut. You do not see anything at the moment, but you think maybe, just maybe, you can see some shadows flittering about in the woods outside of the clearing. This island is the absolute stereotype island. There is the sandy, quickly becoming rocky beach. There is the dense jungle-like forest, and then there is a area that gets sparser as it climbs up the crater to an extinct volcano where the 3 huts were, and that is where you are now.
Is the gelatinous cube still going inside the hut?
As far as you can tell at this moment, it seems to be focused on the hut, and is at this moment does not seem to be pursuing you.
Okay.
Is it going inside the hut?
Yes, it is. It is flowing into the hut and just slowly digesting it.
Tix will throw the torch on the thatch roof of the hut and let nature take its course.
So this is important roll. Give me a straight attack roll with your dexterity bonus.
Seriously?
Sorry.
Really?
The good news is it's almost like hitting a broadside of a barn. It's pretty easy to hit a roof, though I have stated the outside of these huts are much smaller. But it's still a pretty easy target to hit, and you're only 6 feet away. So give me that roll.
It is a 15.
That will do it. You just take the torch and whoom, and it on top. And there's a moment where you think maybe nothing is going to happen, and then and then it just begins to engulf. And the whole hut is just made of wood, and it burns and burns. And there is a sound, and it's not a scream, but it's just this. It's like a vibration. And it's the gelatinous cube being very unhappy. I'm going to make a couple of little rolls here. Ooh. Wow, okay. So, within a few turns, the gelatinous cube is subsumed by the fire, and it is destroyed, because it's basically eating something that is fuel, and it can't, it actually is trying to flow away from it, but it can't in time. And the gelatinous cube just shudders and then sort of becomes just little weird patches of itself and then just to the ground. That was very good thinking, and you really didn't want to fight that thing.
No, I didn't.
That was well done. And you hear a sound. Across all cultures and across all realities, everyone knows the significance of the slow clap. And you turn towards the edge of the clearing, and a light, like almost like a spotlight coming on, but it is a dull green light comes on. And you see a just horrifying creature. It is very unpleasant to see. It is like a horribly obese human that had been corrupted by darkness. It is very tall, about 7 feet tall, and it's just wave upon wave of fat and gristle, and it says, Welcome to the feast. And all around you, figures begin to appear from the forest. They are all spectral looking. And they all give off an aura of hunger. They all begin coming closer to you.
Merezi draws her halberd.
Okay.
And Tix will stand up, pull out Destiny Seeker, and say, very loudly, Black Eyes, are you not tired of dying yet? Are you ready to die again?
Now, who are you speaking to? Are you just calling out?
I'm calling out Oliver Black Eyes because I figure he's probably behind this, considering the dream as a portent. And so I am going to be mocking him, and so that is going to be, I guess, a bluff.
Okay. I would like you to make a bluff check, and I would like you to add 2 because of the sheer boldness of the move, given the circumstances, and the posture, and the fact that you have literally defeated him twice.
Okay. That's a 21 with the plus
21. Okay. So there are several dozen of these shadowy figures that are slowly moving towards you. And they're all kind of like doing a deep, like, and you hear like this very upsetting smacking of lips, and but one of them breaks away and resolves itself, and you see that form, that Craxador bandit that Athora had pressed the feast or famine medallion to, and literally starved to death. And he comes forward, and he says, Welcome to the Isle of the Dead. We have come to feast. And before you, all along the rim, there begins to appear a table. But, like, imagine a table literally circling the entire rim. So, like, the biggest buffet table you can possibly imagine. And
just a regular golden corral.
Yes, exactly. This is actually the first golden corral, eons ago. And it appears, and I want to point something out, that what appears on the table are not dishes, but are ingredients, like onions and like a leg of ham that's uncooked and things like that. And there's cauldrons, and there's preparation, and there's knives and all of that sort of thing. And he says, "We have all come to feast."
And you're going to choke on it again and end up dead again. But hopefully this time we'll be able to put you to your permanent rest, just like we have every other time.
You might succeed, but you cannot kill me. I cannot die. I will come back again and again and again until you die.
Wow.
And by the way,
So-
by the way, he's looking at you, Athora, not at Tix.
You must like disappointment there.
Oh, now, come now, says the huge, massive form.
Let us not resolve this in such a crude manner. Surely there is a more amusing way to resolve our differences.
Oh, I have plenty of special resolving for the undead.
Very true, but I am not among their number, and there are so many here. You might blast away this one, but there are more. May I propose a slight contest?
Oh, for expedience sake, and if we can shut Oliver Black Eyes up, sure, go ahead.
Why not? And he claps his hand again. Boom! And two spectral fiends come out from the ground. These are like demonic beings, but they're semi-transparent, and they begin to both play fiddles faster and faster. And he says,
Let us have a cooking contest. I've got a lot of hungry ghosts here. I myself am famished. Tell me, can you cook better than my fiend?
Well, what do you think,
I mean-
Morezi? What do you think, Athora?
I've done some cooking, you know. Everyone had to chip in, Clan McGraw. But this is probably rigged, right? Super rigged.
Most likely. We're going to end up hacking them apart anyways. But this might be a nice diversion.
It's true.
Can any of us...
I'm game.
Oh, sorry.
What were you going to say, Athora?
Can any of us cook?
Not well, but I've done it.
I can cook.
Excellent, excellent. Then let it begin.
and a huge hourglass appears over his head and turns over and begins to spiral down. And it's time for a skill challenge.
Oh, yay,
Now,
skill
obvious-
challenge.
Obviously, there is a skill called cooking, which you may or may not have. Probably not. So what I want is for you to use your imagination and tell me what skill you would use to succeed in a cooking challenge. And I want you all to take turns. I need you to get 5 successes. And you may use your inspiration, which you all currently have 1 of. If you get 3 failures, however, you fail. Who wants to go first?
Well, since Tix was egging him on, I guess... Unless, Marissa, you want to go first, I can go first.
I'll let you lead the way. I'll follow.
Okay. So, Tix will start with his wilderness lore, because you have to know how to cook over a campfire. You have to know how to find what's edible. And so he will gather together the ingredients for a shepherd's pie from all the tables around, and so with his wilderness lore, his first roll. Oh, that's nice. That is a 22.
Every night you turn up here, you amaze me.
You absolutely succeed in beginning. You think back to your years of travel before you joined the party, where you were wandering about, learning about the world, traveling on boats, walking through forests, and you see the right ingredients to start making this pie. And there is sufficient pie crust to begin putting things together, and you're sprinkling in ingredients and gathering them and figuring out which cuts of meat will go best. And that is absolutely succeeding. Across from you, on the other side of the crater, which is quite a far off, but not that far, you can definitely see Oliver is frantically cooking and putting things together. But he does seem to be succeeding. I'm rolling for him. So far, he seems to be making progress. And there's a couple of like these weird spectral lip-smacking fiends who are assisting him. But now back to y'all. Morezi, what would you like to try to do?
I bet Morezi has cooked a shepherd's pie before. It's potatoes and meat. I think that's something that orcs would succeed in. I'm gonna make a case that my survival skill would work here for a very similar reason that Tix's wild knowledge would work. That Morezi has a lot of experience of knowing how to help her family with food while not just at home, while on a hunt away from the clan. That Morezi would know how to cook.
And that is exactly the kind of skill that I want you to use here, because I knew beforehand that none of y'all had cooking. So I want you to figure out which ones would be appropriate. Definitely survival is one you have literally rolled before in order to gather food for the party. So I would like you to make that roll.
A 10.
I'm sorry?
10.
10. 10 will not succeed. Do you want to use your inspiration?
You know what? Yes. Actually, yes.
Okay.
$22.
22.
A much different number.
So there's that moment where you think you've messed it up, and then you turn it around and tell me what you're doing to help put together this shepherd's pie.
I'm gonna say that, Morezi knew how to start a fire, all the stuff was there, but there's a horrible moment when she thinks she's burned the pie. But nope, just a crispy outer bit, nice, but the inner bit all looks nice.
Nice, and that is 2 successes, and that will bring it to Athora.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to use Intimidate on myself to remember to give myself the confidence to make cornbread that my village used to make, that my fiance's grandmother taught me how to make. And you can make a lot of it, and it's simple.
That is a huge stretch, and I'm going to allow it, because that's the point, is I want y'all to stretch and figure out what. So you're basically
I think that's
looking
perfect,
into the mirror.
Though.
What's that?
I think that's perfect, though. She's looking at the situation and being intimidated by it.
Yep. So go ahead and roll that Intimidate. And remember that you have advantage with your cloak.
Oh, yeah.
On that skill. On any charisma-based skill.
Okay, 26.
26.
Nice.
Tell me what that would be like. What would it sound like if you were psyching yourself up to do this?
All right, you can do this. She taught you how to make it. You made it for everyone else in the village. They seemed to like it, unless they were lying, but they weren't lying. Just make it. The in-laws liked it. You're fine. You got this. Corn. It's just corn.
And you just eye of the tiger, get yourself together. You start putting together this cornmeal and making it together into the mash to bake over the coals. By the way, things are not going great for old Oliver. He has had 2 failures in his roll. He does not have inspiration. And so his at one point, his shepherd's pie actually catches fire, and he's putting it out very
Do me a
quick.
favor. Get out.
And he's now extremely frustrated and angry and batting away the minions, like, get away, you idiots! And that will bring it back around to Tix. You've had 3 successes. Tix, what else would you do to succeed in this challenge?
So as he's working on the pie, he is going to use Intimidate to bluff and mess with Oliver. As he's cooking, he will talk about how well it's going. This is going so unbelievably well. This is quite possibly the best shepherd's pie that I have ever made. This is going to feed an army, and it is going to be the most delicious thing. And so he's going to use his Intimidate skill to try and make Oliver miss his next roll.
Ah, very good. To make him miss his next roll. So go ahead and roll for that.
And that is a 22.
22. So that succeeds. So his next roll will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Which was good because the first one was an 18, but the next one was a 10, which, as I told Merezi, was not enough. So he has now failed 3 times. So he is getting more and more frustrated, and when he sees that your shepherd's pie is starting to turn out well, he gets more, and he puts it in early, and it just flambees and begins to burn, and he's trying to put it out, and he's burning his hands as he's trying to put it out. But his just turns into a sodden, burned mess as he fails the skill challenge. Now, just for funsies, Tix, I would like you to give me one more roll, and I will allow you to add this is just a straight roll, and add your wisdom modifier.
Okay. That is a 16.
16. So
13 plus 3.
this, Athora, give me one roll and add your charisma, which is what you were using to intimidate yourself.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay, so what that means is you serve up to this y'all walk up to this horrifying, like, just shuddering mass of flesh demon, and you've got a pretty good shepherd's pie and some pretty good cornbread. And he takes them and just shoves them into his face. And just like the plate that they're on goes in too. And it's just horrifying to watch. And you somehow, like, psychically, especially you, Tix, like, understand that even though he eats, that he can never satisfy his hunger.
Right.
He's always hungry. But he raises a hand up and he goes,
I declare you the winner of this contest.
and
Tix is slightly surprised at the honesty.
Mhm. Devils definitely will try to get you by cheating to the, keeping to the letter of the law. But they very, very rarely will straight up lie. However, what he did not say was that Oliver wouldn't try to kill you, and that is when he attacks. And that's where we'll end! Chafing Armor, episode 135. I think it's 135, isn't it?
It is 135.
135! Thank you all for playing.
Thank you for not killing us.
Thank you all for watching us in Dungeons and Dragons Top Chef.
That's right.
Nailed it.
I wanted to do
That's
something
closer.
different, so I thought it would be fun to just do something just nearly completely silly. with a very serious
this is
subject.
amazing.
And I hope I succeeded.
Very much so.
Hey, did y'all know we're on YouTube?
No!
Yes!
Are we on YouTube?
Yes. Izzy, you were making a YouTube video the other day. I was...
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. You were sort of making a YouTube video the other day that will never be seen. But you can go to YouTube and put in Chafing Armor, and there it is, and people comment all the time, and we love to hear from our YouTube
We
listeners.
do
You
love
guys
to
are
hear
awesome.
from our YouTube visitors.
Yes, Duke is one of our longest listening ones. I chat with him on Twitter as well. And we love our listeners wherever you're listening to Chafing Armor. We appreciate it, and we think you guys are great.
You all are awesome.
The greatest.
So
Thank you.
Thank you all for playing.
Yeah.
And until next time, we will roll with you soon.